This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
So last night, President Trump addressed the joint sessions of Congress, and as you could expect, it was not short of entertainment. The one sad thing, though, is that the Democrat Party is so disheveled right now. They lack leadership. They lack a message. The only thing that they do have is that they know that they hate Trump. But their hatred for President Trump is not what's going to get them winning elections. As a matter of fact, their hatred for President Trump is really exposing just how wicked and just how low that Democrat Party is willing to go. Now, last night, there were certain issues, key issues that were brought up by the president that were not partisan at all. There were people that were celebrated, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. As long as you have a heart, you should have been able to feel compassion for the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel, the man who had been sitting in a Russian prison for years, where the Biden administration had never even spoken with the Russian government and were unable to get this man out. And in the first 22 days of President Trump's administration, was able to get Mark Fogel home. And his mother was there, 95 years old, who even stood up and was celebrated. But you know who didn't stand up? The Democrat Party. There was also a moment where another young man who had survived brain cancer, he and his dad was there. President Trump made him an honorary Secret Service. The Democrat Party refused to stand. And I just check out this clip where a young man who got the honor of his life, a lifelong dream after losing his father. Look at what President Trump gave him during this speech. And the Democrats couldn't even applaud, cheer, or feel any type of joy for this young man. That's how miserable these people are. Check this out.
We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Now, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, if you look up here in the upper right-hand corner, you see Senator Cory Booker here, some of the other Senate Democrats, Congressional Democrats, and you know what they're doing? Sitting down. Now, the judges, you see Amy Coney Barrett is right up there, and some of the other Supreme Court justices are there. Justices do not stand up and represent either way. You know, that shows partisanship. So they're not going to stand up if it's a Republican or Democrat president for any of the things that the president says. They always stay neutral. Apolitical is what the Supreme Court is supposed to be. But look at the Senate and Congressional Democrats refuse to stand for this young man. And the little guy that came over and gave him the high five, that's the young man that just survived the brain cancer, had surgeries, and president made him an honorary Secret Service agent. Now, you know it wouldn't be a party without the Democrat clown show. And this is where the clown came in and wanted to make it known that he was there. Congressional member, representative of the 9th District in Houston, Texas, Al Green, decided that he wanted to be a big part of the festivities. And prior to this event, the Democrats that were planning all this stuff, huge protests, walkouts, some people boycotted the event and didn't show up. But one of the things I do know is that Nancy Pelosi had advised everybody, don't make a spectacle of it. Don't give the Republican Party any ammunition to show the American people that they're not serious. To let the American people see Democrats are all about disruption and delay, not about solutions. As a matter of fact, their whole agenda is anti-Trump, everything bad. Even when what he's doing is for the good, Their Trump derangement forces them to go opposite. Like Trump wanted to build a wall and secure the border. The Democrats they went opposite and opened it up and flooded the country. President Trump wanted to lock down crime. The Democrats say, okay, we're going to give you cashless bail. We want to defund the police, and we want criminals to run them up. So as you can see, this man is paying 5D chess because it doesn't matter what he says that he wants to do for the American people. The Democrat Party have put themselves in a position being led by extreme left-wing progressives that they're going to go opposite, even in spite of what the American people want. Now check out this disgusting and embarrassing display of this representative and what happens to him.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
If you're enjoying this video and you like the content, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, that's currency. It's helping spread the video around and helping wake other people up. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you hit that subscribe button, you can be notified. And with the notifications, you want to select all. That way you get notified every time I upload new videos. Look at the faces of the Democrats sitting behind them. They're like, man, I don't want any part of that. They did not expect that Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, was going to throw this man out. And let me tell you how bad of a move it was for him. I believe that he thought that if he did it, all these other Democrats were going to stand up and they were going to all get thrown out together. If you watch his eyes, he's looking around. Nobody stood up. It's kind of like the person that tries to get the slow clap going, but nobody catches on. And then they just kind of sit down and just stop. That was the equivalent of the slow clap. It didn't work. And let the record know, this is the same gentleman who also called for the president to be impeached. And he did this on February the 5th, which was what, 15 days after President Trump took office? Check this silliness out.
I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
Now, in this clip, the president is going to highlight the accomplishments at the border and just how secure our border has become. And look at what the Democrat Party does during something that should be so celebratory. Let's see how they react to the fact that the president has secured our border. Check this out.
Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
Look at that. Not one Democrat is standing up. Why? Because they voted against it. They voted against our border security. They voted against protecting the American people, but they voted for illegal immigrants coming over here getting handouts, while at the same time going on television and saying the government is not in the business of handing out money. And what is $5,000 going to do for you? Now, you know, Miss Jasmine Crotchet that talks so much, she was sitting there, and I believe that she had something planned, but after she saw what happened to Al Green, she said, screw that crap. She didn't want to be embarrassed like he was.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
That right there was the phrase of the night. That was the tagline of the night that really pissed off the Democrat Party. And really the rest of it all, I mean, the president did a great job. He stayed on message. Outside of the BS that happened, I thought President Trump really delivered in that speech. He addressed his accomplishments and spoke about what he's doing for the economy, the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, and that this legislation is being built. And let's just keep it real. Anybody who believes that on January the 21st, right after the inauguration that somehow prices would drop is an idiot. He has more functions and balls and things like that they have to attend just off tradition. And then the amount of time it takes to draft a bill, get it voted through committee, and become law. You know, when he said on day one he's going to drop price on day one, that meant when he comes in, that is the main priority. That is what they're working on: border security and the economy. And I assure you, well, I know you know, because the fact you're watching this, you definitely get it. He will deliver on that promise, just like he is on all his other promises. So the Democrat Party embarrassed themselves tonight. As always, they couldn't control themselves and went out there with paddles and whatnot, which is against the decorum rules of the chamber. And so they were holding up signs that said Musk on one side, Felon on the other one, and all of this weak stuff. And I heard Simone Sanders from MSNBC he said, paddles and signs are not going to win you the midterms. But I hope the Democrats keep doing this. I hope they keep acting this way, because the more vile they act, the better it is for the Republican Party and the more wins we keep piling up. So, and listen, if you've stayed in and you're still watching this video up to this point, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you for watching. And if you haven't already, liked the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell saying thank you. And I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.